first of all, we're going to start with the table topic contest. And can every table topic contestant stand up? And the 6 contestants have already been briefed about the contesting rules, what they should do, how much time they have, and they all have confirmed that they are eligible for the contest. And what we are going to do now is have them do a table topic on the same question, one by one. But before they do their own content, give their own speech, they have to wait outside with our Sergeant at Arms, Alain, who is also a contestant, actually. So without further ado, Alain, can you take all the speakers outside?
Yeah.
Kenny, you can stay here. Yeah.
Up more, just.
So I was just told there's a competing event by Morgan Stanley, which is going to host like 200 people networking here, so it's better to block the disruption. And our first contestant is Kenny. And the speech title is going to be, "What's the most precious thing to you, Kenny?" What's the most precious thing to you by Kenny? You have 2 minutes.
The most precious thing to me. For those who aren't new here, you've probably guessed, or I've told you that I stutter, and for a long time it was a problem for me, not being able to express myself and articulate myself how I wanted to, feeling fear, freezing up, sometimes not even saying anything at all. Then last year I enrolled on a speech program, and I was taught to think about stuttering in a fundamentally different way. My perceptions changed, I learnt new techniques to control it, and now I can speak fairly articulately and fairly well, if I do say so myself. And that is precious. There's never a day that goes by where I don't feel a sense of empowerment of being able to just order my food with no issues, have a conversation with a person I've never met before, or give a public speech as I'm doing now. And I hope that sense of joy continues for the rest of my life. It truly gives me a purpose of waking up every day, and speaking is fun.
What's the most precious thing to you, Alain? Good.
Hello. Even though Ronnie said what's the most precious thing, I would say it's my mother, even if she's not a thing. She's a person, just like everyone else's mother. But she is the most precious person to me, because she's the one I'm closest to, and I share all my problems with her. I'm not sure if it's the same for all of you, but I share all my problems with her, and it's basically unconditional love, yeah. Even if I behave rudely to her sometimes, she doesn't care, and she still loves me the same. And also, she cooks really good food, so that's another plus. And when I was living with her back home, she used to clean up after me, clean up my room, and I really missed that after coming to university. So I would say the most precious thing to me is my mother. Thank you.
What's the most precious thing to you? How?
So what's the most precious thing to me? I think it's probably my family. Because I think like everything in this world, I think it just like yeah, sometimes we might consider like money to be really important or something like that. But I think when something happens, you always have your family at your back. So for me, family would definitely be the most important thing for me. So whenever like I think you can share with like you can share the bad stuff with your family, you can share the good stuff with your family. So yeah, family definitely the most precious thing for me. So maybe to give an example that is that like whenever I feel sad or something, I always like I can always call my mom because I know that my mom's always there for me. I think that's the difference between friend and family, right? That like friend, I mean you can be really good with some friends, but to a certain extent. And I think family is something that you can never like your friend can never surpass that boundary. So yeah, definitely family.
What's the most precious thing to you, Carlo?
Thank you. Most precious thing to me. It's a tough question, really. I shouldn't look too much at the ceiling because last time I've been told to look too much at the ceiling. Most precious thing, I think, is I fell in love with management and leadership, right? Because I started my career, I always loved architecture, so I decided to follow the path of becoming an architect. And now I'm in a situation where I get on the other side. So I'm not just designing, I'm managing a team, managing a project. I know what I start to be exposed about what leadership means. And that's really the most precious thing I got now, I would say. Is a sort of, now you have to become a good manager, you have to become a good leader, really. And in terms of pressure, yeah, there's a lot of pressure in there because I never thought about that, really. I thought, okay, I'm going to be an architect, but now there is this thing going on. And it's really inspiring looking around and see how many good managers there are, how many good leaders there are. And in a way, it's like, okay, because the opportunities are all around us, the pressure is you have to get as much as you can now, because I'm getting older, guys, so I'm not more a student like you are. So I need to become a good manager as soon as I can, a good leader as soon as I can, because I think that leadership is like being a good father, is being like a sign of good leadership. Good managers managing the people that are around you, be able to listen, be able to guide them. And yeah, I think that's the most precious thing I got at the moment, really, because and it's like I don't want to leave the other passion for design and for architecture. The precious thing is try to combine everything together. And I think I'm really optimistic on that, and I think it's going to be a nice experience doing that. So thank you.
What's the most precious thing to you, Chuka? Welcome.
So I know most of you would have heard people saying that the most precious thing to you is their family. And of course, mine is no exception. My family is so invaluable to me. I obviously wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for the incredible bonds, incredible relationship that I had with them. My parents, very early on in my life, I was diagnosed with some kind of cerebral atrophy, and I was almost sent away, exiled basically to Nigeria, because I was not fit to be in a public school. I was aggressive, hostile, and teachers didn't like to teach me. So if it wasn't for my mom's sacrifice that she gave to help me succeed, I would have been in a disabled school, and all of my ambition, my potential would have just been dropped straight away. Because I went to Nigeria, I was changed. My family supported me as if well, they gave birth to me, so they were literally giving their life to me. When I came back to when I came back to UK, I was influenced by them in more ways than I could think of, and it brought me. It was a slow and tiring process, but they did their best to bring me up to where I am today, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you.
What's the most precious thing to you, Rishi?
Steve Jobs once said, "You can only connect the dots looking forward, not looking backward." For me, the most precious thing is probably hard work leading to success and leading to eventual growth and, you know, just feeling good about yourself. So when I was small, I had a problem where I used to eat a lot. I was overweight, and even though I used to play, I was into tennis, was into football, was into a bunch of different things, I still never really lost that weight. But thank God puberty hit me, and through puberty I lost a lot of weight, got that really good physique, and that hard work kind of paid off, and it really showed when I, you know, could feel good about myself going swimming, when I could feel good about myself going to football, when I got into teams, Imperial as well, being part of the tennis society, being part of the football society, all those things were really, really good for my personal growth. Secondly, the same thing happened with academics. As a school kid, I was always sort of smart and intelligent, and I could answer questions easily, but I was a bit of a slacker. I used to hang out with the wrong crowd, and I didn't really do well for the first pretty much half of my academics. But then going into high school, going into like the final 2 years, I kind of had a shift in mindset. And I was like, I'm going to sit down, study 10 hours a day, not go to any parties, not screw around, no clubbing, no going out. And I ended up topping and getting into Imperial as well. So failure is just a stepping stone to success. Everyone's heard that. But sometimes when you're in the moment, it's really hard to acknowledge that that failure is going to lead to success. You feel depressed, you feel sad. And the only thing I can ever say, the only thing that's really precious to me, is the idea that I know that my hard work will eventually pay off. And that's my message to all of you. Thank you very much.